All right, we're gonna be working on putting a 2009 Subaru Forester back together. I didn't start making videos until I already had the engine out and heads removed. So this is gonna be putting the heads back on, putting the engine back in the car, and going from there. So this is the 09 Forester 2.5 non-turbo EJ253 motor. Got the motor out. Heads were taken to a machine shop where it was discovered the heads were cracked, and so I ordered some new remanufactured OEM heads from actually ended up getting them from American Cylinder Heads via AutoZone. Got turbo MLS OEM head gaskets for the non-turbo engine just because they're better head gaskets. Turned the motor over, pistons seem smooth. I don't see any problems with them, so we're just going to send it with remanufactured heads and new MLS turbo head gaskets. So first thing I need to do is clean off the block on both sides. Got two cylinders on this side, two on the other. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Start cleaning those off with a plastic scraper and brake clean. All right, we've got brake cleaner from Walmart. Got a plastic scraper and blade. Some people can do this with a metal razor blade, which is quicker, but I don't want to take a chance on my skill and nicking the block. So I've got a pan down on the ground to try to catch as much junk as possible, and we're just gonna clean it up as best we can. Okay, so this is after spending, I don't know, 5 or 10 more minutes kind of going over it with the plastic scraper and brake clean and a rag. I mean, you can still see some black here and there, but I would much rather not be too aggressive and cause a nick. You know, your inclination is to go get some steel wool or some sandpaper, something to really get it nice and shiny, but it's smooth. I don't feel any problems, so I don't want to be too aggressive and cause problems by trying to make it look pretty. I'd much rather just get it as clean as I can without overdoing it and call it good. You can't really feel any problems. You're not gonna make it any better by putting a nick in there with a razor blade or sandpaper. And I mean, I can't really feel anything there with the plastic scraper, so I'll probably spend a little bit more time on this area just because it is pretty visible, and then we'll flip it over and do the other side.
We'll go ahead and go further, just because the lighting's better.
I think the mailman's here with my other head gasket. I made a mistake and just assumed they came as a set, but they were individual. So I got one, and I was like, oh man, it's just one. So I had to order another one. I was kind of sweating when it was gonna get here. Should be here right now. fact, he's gonna bring it up here. Pause video. Sure enough, that was it. Mailman was delivering my last second head gasket. Okay, so this is the oil pan. So our engine's kind of almost upside down. This is the timing, so it's the front of the engine. We got the plate to bolt to the transmission on the back of the motor. So this is the passenger side or right-hand side of the motor. This is one of the new gaskets. Doesn't matter, right hand, left hand. They're both the same on each side. So you just get two of the same gasket. This is a multi-layer steel or MLS head gasket. It's OEM for the turbos, which again, mine is a non-turbo, but these head gaskets just don't fail like the single layer graphite coated ones. So to tell which way it goes on there, we try to put it on backwards. You can see this bolt hole doesn't line up, so we know it goes this way. And then to tell, so that bolt hole lines up, everything lines up, but to tell if you've got it on upside down or not, if we try it the other way, you also have these coolant, I think they're coolant passages up on top, but if we try to flip it over this way, then this bolt hole doesn't line up. So, and we know it can't go this way because those coolant passages don't line up. So there's only one way it'll fit on there and line up with everything, and that ain't it. And that is it. Okay, here's my new remanufactured cylinder heads from American Cylinder Head, which again I ordered via AutoZone. I did talk to American Cylinder Head on the phone to confirm the casting number, which is T25. I'll try to show you that on the head in a minute. But you can see it says Subaru 2.5 single overhead cam driver's side. T25 is the casting number. Right now we're working on the passenger side. So this one says 2.5 single overhead cam passenger side, T25 casting. If we unpackage this a little, we can see tag. 2.5 single overhead cam passenger side, T25, 08 and up with cam. So this is completely put together. Valves are adjusted. The only thing you got to put on there is the electrical connections and the valve cover or cam cover, whatever you want to call it. Let's get to it. Also, I'm reusing my head bolts. So this is them right here. You probably won't be able to read my chicken scratch, but I've got them labeled passenger side and driver side, front motor, rear motor, so I can put them back in the position they were at. Originally, don't know how important that is. I think the middle ones are supposed to be a little different, but mine all look the same. On some, the middle ones are black and the outside ones are silver, but mine are all silver, so they're probably all the same, but you know, I'm not taking any chances putting them back where they came from. But you can see the underneath the cam cap, you can see the RTV sealant. I'll flip it over here in a second. It's got new valves. It says Subaru up here. I'm a little concerned about this V because I know there's a V25 also, but it's labeled as a T25, so we're gonna go with it. And you can see I've still got it sitting on lots of padding, the bubble wrap, plus there's some foam underneath it. You definitely don't want to be flopping this down on the concrete or doing anything to mess up the finish on it. Okay, I found it over here on the intake side. There is T25. I know on the cam side of the head it's got numbers, 3 numbers after it also, but don't know how important that is. The T25 is the most important thing to make sure you're matching with your casting on your block. All right, this is the valve seat side. You can see it's got new valves. Nice machined surface for mating to the block. This is the back of it. And then this is the front where you screw in the timing belt pulley. So we'll stick a couple bolts in and get it going. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of assembly lube on these. All right, here we go. Nice and easy and gentle. And we'll line up our 2 bolts and just slowly get it in. I'm not really doing much of anything other than just getting it set on here. So doing this by hand, it really just want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So as long as I get those bolts started and they won't pull out. Just want to make sure it's not going to slide or move at all. And we'll get the rest of them lubed up and started. Alright, I got 2 of them started already, this one and this one. I'm not using any sort of wrench or gun or anything. I'm not doing anything other than just getting these, not tight, just past the finger tight stage. And then we'll look up torque specs and do that process. Okay, after looking up the torque specs, I noticed that I oiled the threads of the head bolts, but I didn't do the washers. So I'm gonna kind of back each one, I just got them finger tight at this point. So I'm just gonna back them out a hair and then put a dab, and it says to use engine oil, which I'm sure is great. I'm using Ultra Slick engine assembly lube. So I don't know, do what you want, engine oil or assembly lube. I'm just gonna put a dab at the top of each washer so it kind of runs down underneath it. My Google search showed star pattern, 22 foot-pounds, and then 51 foot-pounds, and then we'll back them off a little bit. You start on the top, which my motor's upside down, so top, and then star pattern from there. So 22 foot-pounds. Let's see, B, C, D, E, F, did it in the wrong order, that's all right. And now we'll go to 51 foot-pounds. All right, 51 foot-pounds. Okay, we're supposed to back off 180 degrees in reverse pattern. So let's see, 180 degrees, that's 45-90, should be pointed straight up. So 90, 180, 90, 180.
Let's see, where do I go? I think right here. 90, 180. And then let's see, we're going down here. 90, 180. And we're going up here. 90, 180. And the first will be last. 90, 180. Now, let's do another 180. So there's 180. 180, 180, 180, 180, 180. So now I'm going to check my torque specs again.
Okay, here we go, 31 foot-pounds on the retighten in the same order we started with, so 31 foot-pounds. Okay, we've got a 90-degree turn on each one, and then a 45-degree turn on each one, and then a final 45-degree turn, but only on the middle ones. So 90 on each one. Do I have this going the right way? Yes. I'm still using my torque wrench just because my breaker bar doesn't hold the socket on very well. It's worn out. Well, this doesn't either, I guess, but it stays on better than the other one. So 90 degrees. Okay, now we got the heads on out of my Subaru genuine parts. Let's get that part number up here. It's a engine gasket and seal set, of which I didn't use the head gaskets that came in here because I don't like them. And I did order OEM Subaru gaskets, just the turbo version, not the NA version. But what I'm looking for right now are the spark plug tube seals. So we'll get those out of there, pop those on. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of assembly lube just because it's handy. Just want to put a little bit of oil on these just so they slide on. Alright, seems pretty good. And then we can put our valve cover, cam cover on. torque that, and that'll be it for this side, I think.